I think we are live. I think we're coming in smoothly. All right. Thank y'all for being here, which I think, yeah, the camera, I was able to figure out how to do the vertical and horizontal. In the world of, let you guys start to trickle in a little bit. But because I figured out how um, to orient, there's a term for it. But because I know how to do the streams like that, so we might be able to do cheap um, throwback type gaming streams where super redneck and hillbilly of we just put the camera on the TV, um, and we can do one of those gaming streams. Um, but yeah, um, we'll we'll do that a little bit later because truthfully, in the sports world, I only have two stories to talk about really. A little bit of kind of three, but not really. There's some stuff going on with like the training camps because everybody's coming back. And so there's that. We can talk about the Vikings quarterback room and just I can give my thoughts on that. And then the other thing to talk about is the Spurs game 6. And them being able to force a game 7. So really just two stories, kind of like we could do a quick sports stream and talk about that. There were a couple things for college football that we can just touch base on a little bit. Um, but yeah, so this might be a pretty short stream, and because it's going to be probably a pretty short stream, just with how everything's jerry rigged for my setup and stuff, you guys wouldn't believe it if I told you. But there's rubber bands. There's rubber bands to help keep my phone propped now. But yeah, if we can do a sports stream real quick, we can get that done. Maybe I can make a video and give my thoughts and reacts to Game 6 tonight versus the Spurs. Have that posted, or at least post one video tonight or something. Maybe the Knicks video, and then get a Knicks video out there. But as I see starting to trickle in, we'll get ahead and get going here and start some things, and then I'll just go grab a quick bite, and then we'll do a gaming stream a little bit later tonight. But like balling on a budget because don't have my capture card with me like that. But I thank you guys for being here. This is GVS. So let's get into it. The first thing that we can kind of talk about and go over is we got to talk about what's going on with the Vikings right now because there have been so many memes that I've seen today of people talking about like just do their own adaptations of like Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy, where you can tell one who's been in the league for a while, a little bit media trained, versus one where, yeah, this is your second year. Just like the comparisons to, how when two students sit on the opposite side of the, like it was just funny. What's going on? Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome in. What is going on with the Cardinals in trading Kyler Murray is I think Arizona, when you look at the history of, because Murray was dealing with some injuries, I think after that 23 season, it's like, okay, we're going to ride it out for a little longer and then we're going to let him go. I think with the Cardinals getting rid of him and sending him off to Minnesota, even though the Cardinals didn't want him, that doesn't mean that necessarily that he wouldn't be a starter. I've made this point before in the past where I think you look at all 30, I think we have 32 NFL teams. Oh my gosh. I talk about the NFL every day, and I don't know if we have 30 or 32. Oh my gosh. All I know is that it's number 4 because there's 8 divisions, 4 teams with anyways. But every single, I mean, we're looking at it now with Dolphins, where it's like, really? We think, Tua, he's not good enough to be on the Dolphins, so we're the backup for the Packers, go be the starting quarterback in Miami. Sure, okay, here we go. Let's see how that goes. But I think with McCarthy, I think McCarthy can be a starter in this league. I think Kyler Murray can be a starter in this league. And I think right now, especially with how loud everybody got when talking about Minnesota, calling him a bust and a scrub and all that. That is why we are sitting where we are at. Just because of experience with, Kyler Murray being in the league since 2019, that is why I would say he's a starter. Not because he might be getting paid more, but he's the new guy on campus, rolling back and circling back to the school analogy that McCarthy made. But just, if I look at it this way too, if Minnesota didn't believe in McCarthy, they wouldn't have gotten him. You know what I mean? I think they would have stayed with JJ, and then Kyler Murray's going to the Saints, or he's going to who else? What's another team? Maybe the Texans or the Jets, or like he would have gone to a lot of other teams. I mean, how I feel about Minnesota with the quarterback room is exactly how I feel about Oakland, where both quarterbacks need to prove it. They do. And so the media kind of blew up about that one, and we had a fun field day where we were talking about, yeah, they hate each other and all this and that. But I think at the day, here's the thing. The first quarterback that goes out, and so let me throw out Murray. If Murray's the starter week 1, if by week 3 they don't have a positive 2-1 record, he's probably getting benched. And so weeks 1 through 3, Murray. Weeks 4, 5, and 6, probably McCarthy, because I can see that. Because you look at what was going on with Andy Dalton with the Panthers, and Bryce Young. Bryce Young got benched before. Young quarterbacks have been benched. Now, the difference is sometimes you can't bench them because it's like, go look at Caleb Williams. Does Caleb Williams have a backup, that's a veteran? No, he doesn't have that luxury. But, I mean, Bryce Young got benched for a couple weeks, but then he came back, and everybody's like, hey, I think he's learned a little bit. He's, gotten the, his feet under him. And I think that's what this year for Minnesota is going to be, where it might be a little bit of a back and forth on who's the starting quarterback, who's not. But ultimately, I think, let's say you throw McCarthy out there for week 1, 2, and 3. If they're sitting at 3-0, they're going to ride the hot hand. And that is what it's going to be until he gets cold in maybe 7, week 8. And then we're going to go back to Murray. And then, because this past season, I believe Minnesota had 4 because he went on either Thanksgiving or Christmas. McCarthy, Wentz. There's that 4th one. Who was it? Did Doug play a game and then get traded around the trade deadline to the Patriots? I can't remember. Like, Minnesota had, I believe, 4 starting quarterbacks at one point. Either way. Hello, everybody. Welcome in, chat. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? I see you guys. How you doing? So that's kind of my thoughts. Is I thought it was very funny where just media training of, oh, we're doing good, we're having fun, versus I freaking hate this guy. But ultimately, I think I made this comparison with Justin Fields for the Chiefs. Like, Mahomes is going to be out as long as he is out, but I think Justin Fields knows that the second Mahomes is good and ready to go, it's his team, and so we'll see. I don't have too many high expectations for Minnesota this upcoming season. I think Minnesota has gotten rid of too many pieces over the last handful of years. And the other thing too, the Packers are pretty decent, and I'm not just saying that out of bias. Like, the Packers kind of can always hover and kind of be a Steelers team, or be a what's another comparison? Be a Steelers team, or be a Broncos or a Chiefs team, where like they're always competing. But this was the Chiefs before they got Mahomes. Like, Alex Smith came to the playoffs a handful of times. So I just So you have the Packers that you got to deal with, but then the Bears, because the Bears, everything's coming up Bears here, and I think the Bears can have here. But then ultimately the Lions. I know the Lions did not win the division last year, I know it was within grasp, but then they lost it, and I did the Packers. Yeah, the Packers or the Bears won the division. I don't remember which one, but um, I think the Lions figure some things out, retool, and then they're just going to go. Like, I think the Lions are better coached than the Vikings and the Bears. Quarterback, I think Goff is the best, but like the biggest ceiling probably would be Caleb Williams. Best defense, that's a tie. I think the Vikings defense is actually pretty good, all things considered. Running backs, gotta give it to Detroit. Gibbs and it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. So yeah, what else? I'm trying to think. Gosh, I can't think of anything other than, you know, we might be overreact to a Vikings team that wins 6 games. So we'll just see. I think the year that the Vikings competed for the NFC crown and then lost first round exit to the Giants, Kirk Cousins was playing like a madman, and it was a different Vikings team. And I think another reason why this could be a big season, and I've said this before, you can go look on the channel. I can't pinpoint which exact video, but it's been in some of my ramblings when I talk about football, is what the Carolina stop and the San Francisco stop for Sam Darnold, where he was a backup. There's parts of me that think that if Kyler Murray's playing backup or he's good enough to be a starter, this is where he's going through that same kind of Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff arc of, okay, when you were the starter, you went 5-1, but three of your wins were at the beginning of the season. You tweaked an ankle, and then McCarthy played for a big chunk of the game. And then your 2 other wins, you're 2-1. You played in the last 3 games of the year, but that's because McCarthy got injured, and it was garbage time, and we already eliminated from the playoffs. I think that would be him earning his contract, where maybe it doesn't work in Atlanta with Tua and Michael Penix Jr. It doesn't work with Bryce Young in Carolina, or it doesn't work with Tyler Shough for the Saints, which I just called out the whole NFC South. My bad. But or Dallas, for example. What if Dak Prescott and the Cowboys agree to mutually part and go their separate ways? And it's like, well, you were pretty decent with Minnesota. You went 4-1 in the 5 games you played. And Dallas is like, here's a 3-year contract. Here's a 4-year contract worth $100 or something like that. Just like what Seattle did with Sam Darnold, because Sam Darnold, oh, I forgot Sam Darnold went to the Vikings too. Shit. But like I think, yeah, there's just, we'll see. We'll see if Murray can be the starter. We'll see if McCarthy can be the starter too, because I'm very surprised to see how quick people have jumped on the label of bust, considering the dude hasn't even played a full season, and last year was still technically his rookie season experience-wise, because he tore his ACL his rookie year in a meaningless preseason game. So, go figure. Yeah. So there's a softball prediction for the NFC North prediction. I got the Lions, and if not the Lions, then the Bears. I believe the NFC North will be a team that sneaks 2 at minimum, but if they're lucky, they can beat the West last year, where they can get 3 teams in. Who are those 3 teams? Lions, the Bears, and the Packers. One would be a 7 seed, the one would be one of the 1 through 4 seeds, and one could be a 5 seed. Where the 6th seed would be probably like the Saints or the Buccaneers on like a last season push. The 1 seed would probably be, someone like maybe Washington or the 49ers or the Rams, someone like that. Because I think the West is going to send 2 or 3. I think the North can send 2 or 3, but the South is only going to send 1, and the East is only going to send 1. Like I don't see the Giants, Cowboys, and Eagles all getting no. I don't think that. I think only one team's going from the East, and I'm leaning the G-men right now, but who knows? Could be the Eagles, or Washington could have a back year. But anyways, hello everybody, welcome on in, welcome in. Hello guys, how are you guys? Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm glad you guys are here. Let's now transition. Let's talk about the NHL. There was no game tonight because unfortunately Vegas had other plans, and Vegas decided to go beat the Colorado Avalanche in a quick 4-game series. And so we got no hockey to talk about tonight, but we have basketball that we can talk about because, as the title of the video that you can see, there will be a Game 7. The Spurs and the Thunder played tonight. Victor Wembanyama had 32. He had 32. He had 32 or 42. He had a lot of points. Hello. Well, happy birthday. He had I know he had over 30. SGA only had 15. He had 15 or 18, if I'm not mistaken. You go look at that free throw stat, and it's like, yeesh, that's pretty glaring. He shot 3 for 3, and that is it. Field goal, if you want to look at it from a Thunder's point of view and a Thunder fan being like, oh, we got gypped from the refs. Okay, sure. If you want to win games from the free throw, and you can look at it that way, sure. But I think just field goal wise, you go look at his mid range. He was off tonight, which every off night. I think my only reaction to SG having a bad game today is dude had 17 free throws in Game 5, and because of Game 5, that is why Game 6 was as hostile as it was. You saw the chippiness, which I'm not against chippiness either. Like which I don't know. It was either Castle. It was either Castle because the other one, there was one player that just, maybe it was Harper, where it straight up rammed right into SGA, like full sprint, and SGA did flop, but it was a hard foul. It was foul. Like Wemby drained a 3, and I think they took that 3 off the board, which kind of pisses me off because it's like, award the 3, but then penalize the player that committed the foul, send the Thunder to the line for 2, and then give Thunder possession. That I would have. Don't wipe off the 3 and then give Thunder possession, because it's like that. Again, the foul happened after the fact, after the ball was going in the bucket, but I don't remember how it. Plus, it doesn't even matter because 27. They blew the Thunder out today by 27 points, so it didn't matter. It's also a record. Their last one was 23 or 24 points, and that back in 2020. So sometime in the bubble, during one of their postseason games. What else? With hostile and chippiness, Castle just straight up shoved Chet after a layup or something, which was kind of funny. Williams got into it. He got a little chippy. You can tell that these teams don't like each other, and I think that is really apparent because just with how even these teams are, which is actually pretty phenomenal, how even these teams are, because the Thunder are much more stacked. I mean, you put Hartenstein or Holmgren on another team, that team instantly gets better. You put Williams on another team, that team instantly gets better. You put SGA on another team, that team gets better. And in the same breath, you take those players away, the Thunder are still good. Like, have we seen Williams come back? Nope. He's still been hitting. He has been. Now, when I tuned into this game, because he got injured round 1, but I don't think we've seen him back since. But like the fact that freaking Like, this is how far they've gotten in the playoffs without him. And of course, the I'm talking about is the other one, the one that went to Arkansas and defeated Gonzaga that year. Where did the other Jalen Williams go? Oh my gosh, I don't know why I can't remember where he went. Anyways, doesn't matter. But I just, yeah, I think that the Spurs, you saw first quarter, the Spurs started out hot, very dominant. They were getting after Thunder. The Thunder had zero answers, and then in that third quarter, the game was signed, said, delivered with the 20-0 run. There was a graphic that was the Thunder's worst run, I think, in Thunder history, and this is probably one of their worst playoff losses in history. Like, there's worst playoff loss, and their worst playoff loss is Game 7 against the Warriors after they blew a 3-1 lead. That's their worst one, and that one always going to leave a mark on the Thunder franchise as a whole. But when the Warriors beat them, it wasn't a blowout like this. I believe the worst playoff blowout, and again, this is just me spitballing, I don't know if there's any factual evidence behind this, but I think the worst playoff blowout was when the Celtics won the championship in like 2008 or 9 and blew out the Lakers by like 50, something like that. Or you could look at the Knicks and what the Knicks did to the Hawks a couple weeks ago. Like, probably is one of the worst. But with just how evenly matched, sorry, I went on a tangent, but to come back to what evenly matched the Spurs are to the Thunder, that is why I think there's a bit of hostility and stuff on how even the competition is, because this is how hostile it was when the Thunder were playing the Nuggets last year, because Nuggets came in, they stole game 1. The Thunder, I believe, went up 3-1 in that series, but then the Nuggets started to climb back. If they didn't go up 3-1, they went up 3-2. And the Nuggets forced a game 6 and then forced a game 7. But then game 7 ended up being a blowout anyway, so it didn't matter. But I just think the Thunder are a very stacked team, and that will be talked about for the next 5-6 years. Sorry, I keep messing with my hand because I think I got bit by something. Anyways, doesn't matter. You never know. The creepy crawlies crawling around here, but with just how stacked the Thunder are, SGA has an off night. Yes, it did affect them tonight because they got blown out, but it's like, I don't even have the stat sheet pulled up. Like, there could be a handful of other things where it's like, how many points did Holmgren have? How many points did Caruso have? How many points did Dort have? Like, there are so many other players on the Thunder. We just say it's SGA and the foul baiting and the free throws on why they're insufferable to watch. That's not the whole picture. The whole picture is these guys have built in the draft and scouted, and that's why they are as good as they are, which, the Spurs have kind of done their research where the last 3 drafts, they've gotten top 4 picks, which I'll kind of segue into my next point, because yesterday they were talking about the draft lottery. What Spurs just did isn't going to happen again. And I've been saying this since day one, and I'll keep hitting this drum, just like how I've talked about defense needs to improve in the NBA. There should be a loser tournament for the number 1 draft pick. You want to talk about how sports aren't even. Clippers, my Utah Jazz, my Pelicans, my Wizards, we keep getting shafted in the big moments to get our star players to turn our team around. Well, what if you take all you get the play-in. You get rid of the nonsense that is the play-in, because I think the play-in was built for the old heads of LeBron and Curry and Kevin Durant and Giannis, when like they're getting into their final years where it's like, whoo. Well, if you can push your team and try to scrounge together at the very end of the season, maybe you can sneak in as a 9th seed or something. But you get rid of that, cut and paste 1 through 8. That is it. No extra sneak in, for a playing team. And then you take the final teams, and You put them in a single elimination bracket, and we need to have East, we need to have West. No, just take records as is. You're the worst team. So, like the Wizards or the Jazz, congratulations. You're the 16 seed and you're the 15 seed. Or something like that, where the teams that are just barely on the out, so the Warriors or the Hornets, I'm thinking who else? The Clippers, like those teams would be the 1 seeds and the 2 seeds and the 3 seeds, and they would technically have home court. But while you could look at it this way, you give teams like a weekend where you finish season, and like let's say the season ended on a Tuesday, that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, that's when the single elimination games are going on. So you give round 1, like the 1 seed against the 8 seed. If the season ended on Tuesday, you give them that 4-day, 5-day break, and then Sunday or Monday, that's when the playoff starts or something like that. So that you punish teams that insist on losing and tanking. So you just stay trash because you don't acquire the right players, you don't trade the right players, you don't draft and scout the right players. Stay a trash bum franchise. Versus the Warriors, where they just barely missed out on the playoffs. But again, you'll have to grade it with a curve because there could be teams trying to, damn, we barely missed the play-in. Let's go draft Wembanyama. Damn, we barely missed the play-in. Let's go draft Cooper Flag the next year. Like, there would be a little bit of moderation in it. But if you miss the playoffs, you play in this single elimination tourney, or throw them all in Vegas. Have them all go to Vegas for a weekend or something where, like, there's a neutral site. But then you seed it by record, not record against division, East, West. You just look standings and go, okay, you're the 1 seed, you're the 2 seed, 3 seed, all the way down. You have them play each other. Guess what? Winner gets the 1st overall pick. Up gets the 2nd overall pick, all the way down. Hell, if you want a 3rd place game, you can have the runners up or the runners up play, and they get the 3rd pick. Loser gets the 4th pick. By then, rock, paper, scissors for something like that, because I just like tanking's terrible. Because you look at, like, let's look at the big guy from BYU, AJ DeMonsta. He's going to go to Washington, which I think it's funny that everybody's just already overlooked Boozer and Yaxel and, all the other guys that were really impactful in this March Madness. They're just like, nope, dude from BYU, you're the number 1 guy. And it's like, what if he doesn't even want to go there? What if it ends up being the dude from Illinois or the dude from Gonzaga? Because it's like, Boozer's like, hell no, I'm not going to Washington. And Yaxel's like, nope, I'm not going there either. And he's like, I'd rather go to the Kings or the Grizzlies than Washington. So that's kind of funny. Look at that if you want. But you get rid of this draft lottery. You get rid of the draft lottery. You get rid of the ping pong balls and if you're the 4th through 6th seed, you get 3 balls. If you're the 1 through 4th seed, you only get 2 balls. Get rid of that nonsense. Reward winning. Finish losing. And I tell you right then, that'll snap them. That'll snap all the players in not into place, but like they'll want to win. That will be the incentive for winning. Where you look at the Spurs, where they've been so close. They've been so close every single year because they were like the Thunder in 2020, where it's like we barely, and then through those 3 drafts in a row, they got top prospects where, you could be a team like, not the Warriors or the Clippers, or like, let's use Charlotte, for example. You know how much better Charlotte would get if ideally they go through this whole thing. How much better would Charlotte be if they got AJ DeMonsta from BYU, Axel Lindbergh from Michigan? They'd get that much better. They'd be so much better. Now, would they be a playoff team? I could see them at best getting a 6th seed. At worst, nothing changes. They'd stay the same. So that's one thing to look at. Because Again, the NFL, you look at the NBA, you look at the MLB. Gosh, I don't even want to look at the MLB rankings because I think I saw yesterday Boston, the Mets, the Rockies, Twins, White Sox. Like half of these teams, they haven't even reached over. Again, this might be wrong. I don't even think they've reached over 25 wins. And it's like, we're almost in June and you don't have 25 wins. That's not good. Just, I don't know. I know that sounds crazy. If I was the commissioner of the league, that's what I would do. I would reward winning. People would hate me because it's like, oh my gosh, you're just favoring because you look at Vegas and Vegas being in the Stanley Cup again. Oh, you know, read the comments. People are super upset that Vegas is back in Stanley Cup contention. But I mean, Vegas they kicked Colorado's ass. There's no two ways about it. They kicked Colorado's butt and they kept riding the hot hand. The hot hand was their goalkeeper and they just kept going that way. What's up? Welcome on in, everybody. Welcome on in. So that's me spitballing what I would fix if I was the commissioner of the NBA. Because you know what's funny too is I'm gonna have to double check this. It actually might be Washington. Washington probably, because it's either Washington, Brooklyn, or Utah have the most losses. But in the past, there has been a team like the Jazz or like the Wizards or the Kings where they have the most losses and they don't get the first overall pick. So I do the same thing with the NFL, where you don't get to just fart around and, oh well, we're because like the Cleveland Browns have never been good ever. As long as I've watched them, they were good 1 year. That 1 year with Baker Mayfield when they won a postseason game, but and none of this tie head-to-head crap either. Like when the Panthers lost to the Buccaneers that Friday, Saturday night, or whatever, that's when the Bucks punched their ticket to the playoffs. You don't wait for the Falcons to play and then winner benefits this team, loser benefit. No. When the Bucks and the Panthers played, whoever won that game gets in the postseason. That's another thing that I would run. What else? Just, it is what it is. It is what it is. But anyways, guys, thank you all for being here. If you guys like gaming, it's going to take me a little bit. Might be another half or something. I'm gonna go grab a quick bite because I haven't had dinner. But those are all my thoughts on like basketball and all that. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. Yoink. That's all my thoughts on what we witnessed tonight because Spurs force a game 7. Don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna hold on to my prediction of Knicks in the NBA Finals. I don't know if the Spurs win Game 7, but if they do, it would have to be Wembanyama just taking over, like a Giannis in Game 6, where it's like, oh, Wembanyama had 50. That because I think, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Because, I mean, what at this point, sitting here before Game 7, what would be, as NBA fans, not what we're owed, but like, what would be a better finals? Spurs Knicks or Thunder Knicks? Because truthfully, I don't know if the Knicks. I know the Knicks have been very dominant and they just kind of blitzed through the East, but Knicks Spurs, I think, would be very even. It would be a very even series. But Thunder Knicks, no. No, I could see that one where it just gets swept under the rug of, yep, Thunder. Oh, look at that. The Thunder joined the Warriors and a list of all these other teams that went back to back. And it's like the Thunder get them done in a quick 5 or something like that. Because I think the Thunder would win game 1 and 2. Because I don't see Knicks winning in Oklahoma. I don't see the Knicks winning in Oklahoma, but I do see the Knicks winning in San Antonio, which is so stupid and so weird to think about. And then, so after being up 2-0, and then we head back to Madison Square Garden, it's like a whoops, where, oh, look at that. Thunder stole game 3, and they're up 3-0. And so then the Knicks clean out game 4, but they're still down 3-1. And then game 5 into just a shoot around where SGA is flopping all over the place. And, you know, SGA has 30 free throws, and it's like, okay, sure. I don't know. I think because if it's easier for, like, if the Thunder play the Knicks, it's easier for me to predict the Thunder to win it versus if the Knicks play the Spurs. I have no clue. I have no clue who to predict. Like that one, because it's like, you know, Knicks win, for Knicks won after a very long time. Or you have Wemby win his first. I think Wemby could, when it's all said and done, probably win 2 or 3 championships. And then, but again, with the Knicks and the Knicks not being good, the Knicks have not been good my whole life. Like if the Knicks were to win it, this is their shot, because there's no, not saying there's no chance in hell, but again, if Mitchell goes to Heat, Giannis goes to the Heat, oh, that Heat team beat up on the Knicks. Like the Knicks would need somebody like a Joker to kind of combat. Like they'd need kind of like, remember how the Celtics had Horford and Porzingis? Like the Knicks need that. They need a backcourt as much as they would need a front court too, because like it worked this time. Like there's going to be some movement this offseason where, oh, just James Harden doesn't like he could win here. And it's like, who was playing poopy in game 3 and 4? Like, not the whole team, dude. Like, so, we could see Kawhi Leonard leaving the Clippers and going to San Antonio, which that would that would take the Spurs right then. But I don't know. I think there's gonna I'd put Jimmy Butler up in that category too, but again, he tore his ACL, and so I don't know if the Warriors would keep him around. I don't know, because there's parts of me being a Jimmy Butler fan that believe that, like, wherever he goes, I mean, he's a contender. And he has been to the finals before, and he has single-handedly pulled Giannis and just dragged his team, whether his team likes it or not. And that would be my hot take that I'll leave. I'll leave with that, is that Jokic, LeBron, a little bit of Curry, but it was Curry and Thompson and Draymond. It was the big 3 that get them there in the 22 season. But the amount of just having one player, just Dirk, Kobe, Duncan, okay, Kawhi as well, 2019. But like just the level of this one player, just AI. With the Sixers that one year they went against the Lakers, where they just dragged their team to the finals, because it's like they're just playing good ball. They string together 12 wins to get there, and then they got swept, or they lost in 5. So the reason why I bring this up is because I don't know if I put Brunson on that level, and I sure as hell am not going to put SGA on that level yet, even though SGA is back-to-back league MVPs and stuff. But it's just like, if Embiid had a healthy career, I think Embiid would have already dragged the Sixers. Like, it would have happened already. Embiid would have dragged to a championship. But yeah, I don't know. 2017, again, spitball. Westbrook, the Thunder, or right after Kevin Durant left. It's like, huh? And what did Westbrook do? He averaged a triple-double. Yeah, okay, maybe a little bit of stat padding in there, but he dragged his team to the second round. I believe they won the first round, but then they lost to the Jazz or somebody in the second round. So I don't know. Curry cannot carry the Warriors alone. LeBron at his age now, cannot carry the Lakers. Luka, it was Luka and Kyrie that carried the Mavericks in that 24 season. But again, like, it was the front court, and there were a couple other key role players that year too. Freaking the Celtics, though, the year they won it, a lot of things went their way with any path to the finals, and they were a stacked team that year. Like, they were so good. Just like how I compare, the Thunder this year to the 24 Celtics. Like, both of these teams, a lot of decent players, where right now what the Thunder are, for lack of a better term, is the Thunder are exactly where they after they lost the finals to the Heat, where someone, as soon as Holmgren has like 2 years left on his contract, maybe 3 years left contract, even before, someone's going to sell the house and try to pitch him a contract and money to get him away from the Thunder and try to poach. That's my big crazy, whoa, hey, here, let me spitball things, for what the NBA could look like in 5 years. Is I think that where the Thunder are now, we'll look back and go, yeah, he went there, just like how we did with the Thunder then, where, yeah, Harden went to the Rockets, Ibaka went there, Durant was a traitor and went to the Warriors, and then Russ stayed. So, anyways. So that's a hot take. That's a hot take I have. Is that maybe Brunson can be a dude that carries his team to the finals? I don't know. But anyways, guys, thank y'all for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I see you guys in the chat. Thank you for all the likes and subs. We're going to wrap up this sports thing. Prediction for tomorrow. Soft prediction for the Habs and the Canes. Give me the Habs. I think it could still keep going but again, they gotta freaking shoot the puck, man. I saw a meme that showed the goalkeeper go and get a penalty because he crossed. Because you can't, as a goalkeeper, you can't go all the way across, middle of the ice. And it's like DeBow trying to shoot the puck because his teammates refused to shoot the puck. I thought it was kind of funny because, yeah, you were down 3-0 at the end of the first period, and the Canes have more goals than shots on goal. That's a problem. The offense has got to get going. And there's just something where I think, you could feel it a little bit with Colorado, just considering that Colorado tied the game 1-1. Because you could feel it in game 3 and game 4, because Colorado did come out and fight, even though they blew that 3-0 lead. There is something to be said where, with this game 5 with Carolina, Montreal's going to come out swinging. And Montreal came out swinging against Buffalo. After they went down in the Buffalo series, Montreal came out swinging against Tampa. And so I think they're going to play desperate hockey. Now, the question is, can Anderson stop 25 shots on goal max? Because again, I believe they shot 12 last game. So I'm giving them huge benefit of the doubt because again, aggressiveness, shots on net, but we'll see. We'll see. I will be stupid. I'll predict Montreal to win because I would like to see this series keep going. But yeah, it is what it is. I still want to see Vegas and the Canes in the Stanley Cup final. And I think the Canes versus the Avalanche would have been a win-win either way too. And it's not like it's like, oh, I don't want to watch this scene. This is unbearable. Yeah, no, I think Vegas is going to win game 1. Yep. I'm just going to stop there because there's parts of me that I think Montreal has kind of, even though they're up 3-1 and they're in lots of control, Montreal has kind of lulled Carolina to sleep a little bit because Vegas isn't going to just shoot the puck 12 times on net for a game. They're going to shoot the puck 10 times in a single period. And with all this lackluster offensive play that the Habs have shown the Canes, that is going to bite them in the ass when Marner, Stone, and just thrown everything at the net, because that is how Vegas beat Colorado. They were down 3-0. They just kept shooting at net. Okay, now it's 3-1. Okay, now it's 3-2. And they just kept shooting and shooting and shooting. And yeah. So anyways, I'll get that Mitch Marner video ready to go because shit, he might look at that. He might be a Stanley Cup champion his first year away from Toronto, which hot take. Austin Matthews will be on the trading block next, where it's like, where are you going, dude? And he's like, I'm going to go to Colorado. Which the person I feel the worst for is Burns. Burns with Colorado. The year he freaking leaves Carolina after being there all those years. Him also sucked up with the Sharks too and sitting there for a couple years. But the second he leaves Carolina, and Carolina has been a damn good team since the bubble. Don't get it twisted. Yes, their playoff exits are very disappointing, but they've been a damn good team. They've run into the eventual Stanley Cup champions every single year. So yeah, the second he leaves and goes to Colorado, and then they turn right back around with the Stanley Cup, it's like, son of a bitch. But anyways, all right, guys. If you want a gaming stream, tune back in about an hour or something. But I thank you all for hanging out. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe.